Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jenny Johnson with Fetal Cardiology and the CHP Healing Hearts program. And today we are talking with the Down Syndrome Clinic and sort of talking about Down syndrome and congenital heart disease. So today we have Dr. Velody, the Down Syndrome Clinic nurse Erin, and two of our parents that have gone through our congenital heart disease program and the Down Syndrome Clinic. So I'm really excited to share with everyone this amazing program that we have to offer here at the Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh. And if you have any questions, you can email us and we can put you in touch with anyone. So we'll start off with Dr. Velody, who's going to talk to you about his clinic, and we'll go from there.
All right, well, great. Thank you for inviting me to this YouTube webinar thing that we're doing. I'm so excited to share about not my clinic. I wish I could take credit for it, but actually the people who can take credit for this Down Syndrome Center are actually parents who back in the mid-1980s got together and decided that they would like to have a clinic where all that we do is take care of kids and adults with Down syndrome. And they wanted a specialized clinic where everybody who worked there had a specific interest in working with this population. And so that's where this center comes from. And actually that's where it continues to be able to exist, is because the families in our region continue to support what we do. And because of that, we're able to provide these services that we do. We start, well, as you'll hear about today, we start prenatally visiting with families, and we go all the way through the lifespan. So we have 5 physicians who work at our center, which is really a blessing. We have me and Dr. Sensenig, who see the younger kids. And then when they turn to be teenagers, Dr. McCormick takes over and takes them through a transition program to get them ready for adult care. And then we have Dr. Bulova and Dr. White, who take over for the adult side of things. And so it really is a lifelong span of care, which is quite unique as well. So what do? We supplement what the primary care doctor does. So we don't take over their role. So immunizations and colds and things like that that you would normally go to the doctor for, you still go to the doctor for. But we will take care of anything specific to somebody with Down syndrome. So how often should we check the thyroid levels, or when should we get the hearing screened or vision screened? Like, we take care of all of that. So what that leaves then is for the parents to just be parents. And at least that's our hope, so that you guys can just be mom, be dad, and just enjoy your little one. And as our friend here in my corner, I'm seeing she's having a lot of fun making faces at the camera today, Miss Bernadette. But it's such a joy for us to be able to do what we do. And just very briefly before I hand it over to Erin, the reason I do what I do is because of my brother Down syndrome. My brother Dos has Down syndrome, and he is in his mid-40s and is my best friend. And so because of him, I get to do what I love to do, which is taking care of pretty much all of the kids in this region with Down syndrome, which is really quite a blessing. So Erin, you want to share a little bit about being the coordinator of our center?
Yes, thank you. So I'm the program coordinator of the Down Syndrome Center, and one of the things that I get to do if a family gets a prenatal diagnosis and they're referred to the center, then I get to meet with them prenatally. And usually the first thing that we talk about is how they received the diagnosis and how they're feeling. It's everyone who's gone through this journey, has processed those emotions, and it can be a difficult period. And I can, share my story. I have a son, Jack, who's 12 years old with Down syndrome. So I understand the emotions that families are going through while they're processing, this new situation that they are going on this new journey. So I tell them a little bit about my family, and I talk about how the Down Syndrome Center has been there for us and what that's meant to my family. We talk about what the Down Syndrome Center is able to provide for them, that it's not just a medical clinic, that we're there for all kinds of resources that the family might need. If they have developmental questions, if they want to be connected with other families, if they need to be connected with agencies, other resources. And I tell them about the Down syndrome team. We have our own nurse, Denise, who, when they meet that when they meet with Denise in clinic, that's the nurse that they get to talk to when they call with questions. So I've always appreciated that as a mom, that when I'm calling and speaking to the nurse at the center, I'm talking to someone who knows my son and who knows me, which is a really big benefit. I tell them about our behavioral psychologist who's part of our team, Dr. Santa Maria. So, later on, if there's problems with toilet training or behavior or anything like that, that we're there to support them. That we have an adult Down syndrome center that, so, through the entire lifespan, we have support for families. I tell them about the community that they're joining. Dr. Velotti always says to families, you're part of the club now, because they really are joining this wonderful community. And, it's a very strong community in our area, and we're very lucky to have, not only the medical support that we have here in our area, but the families and the social support that we have here too. So we can connect families prenatally with other parents, that they're able to talk about, maybe any questions that they might have about being a parent of a child with Down syndrome, any concerns that they might have. And I know as a mom, for me, that was really important to me to talk to other moms. Usually parents are very receptive and want to be connected to other families. I talk about what a visit at the Down Syndrome Center is like. We have an hour for our appointments. Thanks to philanthropy, we're very lucky that we aren't rushing through an appointment. Parents have plenty of time to ask all the questions that they're going to have, talk about all their concerns. Like I said, not just medical things, developmental questions, behavior questions, that you'll meet with Dr. Velotti or Dr. Sensenig or Dr. McCormick or one of the adult providers. You'll meet with the nurse, you'll meet with me. I think when I share with families what kind of support they're coming into, it's very, they kind of take a breath, they take a nice sigh of relief when they feel that support. And I can relate to them through all those stages, because when I had a prenatal appointment with Sheila Cannon, who was the program coordinator, and that's exactly how my family felt when we met with Sheila, as I felt, okay, I have this warm embrace of this community, and everything's going to be okay. And it's been more than okay. But that was a great way to be welcomed into the community. Oh.
Then Erin, can you tell us what are the locations? Because you guys have more than just the CHP campus. You guys have some outreach sites as well, right?
Yes, yep. We go to Children's North in Wexford. We go to Children's South in Bridgeville. We go to the Children's Specialty Clinic in Johnstown, also in Hermitage. And we have the clinic at UPMC Hammett and Erie. And so we see patients at all of those locations, and I've seen prenatal appointments at all of those locations as well.
Are you guys also doing virtual visits for the prenatal visits as well at this time as well?
Yep, we've done prenatal visits. Some families have preferred to just have a phone call, so I've done that. I've met with families at different hospitals, or they've come to Children's. We can meet with families wherever they feel most comfortable, in whatever way they feel most comfortable.
Oh, that's fantastic. And then Dr. Velotti, for the kids that are under 5, how often do you see them?
Yeah, so we typically start seeing the kids in the clinic around 1 or 2 months of age, just to give the families a little bit of time to acclimate to a new baby in the home and things like that. So around 1 or 2 months, although we can see them sooner if we need to. And then every 6 months for the first 2 years or so of life. And then after that, once a year, really for the rest of their life, even through the adult clinic as well.
And then Dr. Velotti, can you also tell us about your webinars as well? So we can, if people are watching this, they can also look at your many webinars, their podcast, sorry.
The podcast, yeah. I wish I was cool enough to do a webinar like Dr. Johnson, but we're stuck with podcasts. No, our podcast is called the Down Syndrome Center Podcast. You can find it anywhere you get podcasts. So if you just have a podcast app on your phone and you type in Down syndrome or even Down Syndrome Center, ours will be the one that will pop up. Or you can even Google it as well and listen to it on your computer if you prefer.
Well, thank you for that introduction. We also have two parents that their children have congenital heart disease and Down syndrome. Miss Bernadette, should we start with you and your mom? You can sort of tell us your story. Let's unmute you.
Well, here we have Bernadette, 6-year-old Bernadette, who is just, she wasn't supposed to be on mommy's lap, but she found her way there. And Bernadette is the youngest child of 8. She was a surprise in every way, shape, and form. And we received her diagnosis when she was born. And it just like so many families had no idea what was ahead of us. So Dr. Velotti and his wingman Denise, and then Aaron kicked in, really gave us a roadmap of what to expect. Yeah, Denise, of what to expect, and really gave us the feeling of it's going to be okay. And you know what? It's not going to be okay. It's going to be more than okay. It's going to be wonderful. And these are the steps you're going to take. And and if Bernadette throws a bump in the road, we got you covered there. And they answer every question. They've answered every question. Dr. Velotti's called me, at 6 o'clock on a Thursday night to just say, hey, I just got these tests back. Everything's going to be okay. This is what you're going to do. It's just so reassuring to know that we have Dr. Velotti at our beck and call. I mean, sorry, Dr. Velotti, but that's the way we think of you. But it's amazing that such an organization as the Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh is literally just a phone call away. The podcasts, I cannot say enough about the podcasts. As Bernadette's gone through everything from being sick, we're getting into the sassy years and the potty training, and even the binky. There was a podcast literally for everything, and it was amazing how large this community is. And it was so encouraging that we can just, instead of worrying about our little girl, we can really enjoy her and know that she is doing just what she's supposed to do. Visits with Dr. Velotti are wonderful. They're easy. You can just sit back and ask questions. He asks questions to you. It's wonderful. It's the family. It's definitely a community, but when you step into his office, you feel like you're a family. And that's the office. Yeah. And we just wouldn't be where we are without Dr. Velotti and his wonderful team. Yeah, Dr. Velotti. Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for sharing. We appreciate it. Thanks, Bernadette.
You went bye. Bye. Wait, bye. Bye. Good girl.
And then one more family, Jacob's mom, is also here to sort of talk to you about the Down syndrome clinic. And both of these parents go to the Erie clinic as well.
Hi, my name's Gretchen. I'm Jacob's mom. My husband Brian and I have 2 boys, William, who is 10, and Jacob, who just turned 4 last week. We had a prenatal diagnosis with Jacob. So I think to Pam's point, I think it always comes as a surprise. But the Down syndrome clinic was just there to answer any question I had, ease any worry, just really there for Brian and myself. And I can't say enough good things about the Down syndrome clinic. I think I'm like their super fan, like their #1 fan, me and Pamela. But yeah, Jacob was born prematurely. He had a little bit of a rough road to start. He had a TEF repair, and then he had some heart repairs as well. But the Down syndrome clinic was there every step of the way with us. They came and visited him after every surgery he had. And again, just really put our mind at ease. answered any question that we had. And it just feels like a family. And I feel so comforted knowing that they're only a phone call away. It's just really, really a great resource. And I just can't really say enough good things about it. It's amazing that they come up to Erie, especially with our Erie winters, that they'll drive up here to the Hammett location, which is great. And they're really, really great about trying to put you in touch with the community here and doing the buddy walks and getting in touch with other families here in the community, so we can really expand that family feeling. So we've been really, really fortunate to have this resource, and I would just really recommend anybody, using it.
Well, thank you everyone for sharing. We are so appreciative of your time. And for people out there watching, if you have any questions or would like more information, please contact the Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh perinatal program, or you can also get more information on our website on both programs, the Down Syndrome Clinic and the Fetal Cardiology Program. So thanks everyone and have a great night.